Focus skill, main idea, and details. You have learned that nonfiction selections have main ideas supported by details. Sometimes a passage does not clearly state the main idea in one sentence. You can use details as clues to figure out the main idea. Ask yourself what important idea the details tell about. Tip: group together details on the same topic to help you determine the main idea of a passage. Read the paragraph below and look at the graphic organizer. It shows how supporting details can help you figure out a main idea that is not directly stated in the text. You hike the steep trail to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. There you come upon a Havasupai village. You wonder how the people can live in such a dry area. You talk with them and learn the answer. For centuries, the Havasupai have used the water of the Colorado River to irrigate crops. Today, they also earn money from tourism. So the details here would be the land at the bottom of the Grand Canyon is very dry. The Havasupai live at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. The Havasupai grow crops from water with water from the Colorado River, and the main idea would be that the Havasupai have developed a way of life that allows them to live in a very dry place. The genre of the study is a narrative nonfiction, and it tells about people, things, events, or places that are real. So as you read, look for factual information that tells a story, paragraphs organized by main idea, and details. The title of this selection is called Grand Canyon, a Trail Through Time by Linda Vieira, illustrated by Christopher Canyon. A pre-dawn storm rumbles over Grand Canyon National Park. Cracks of lightning shatter the dark sky. Flashing above an enormous plateau of peaks, valleys, and trenches where ancient mountains once stood. The deepest trench is called the Grand Canyon, one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. Dawn comes, bringing daylight to spires and buttes standing like sentries on the plateau, worn down by the weathering and erosion. Coyotes teach their pups to hunt for food in thick forest along the edge of the canyon. Thousands of visitors from all over the world have come to view the splendor of the Grand Canyon. In campgrounds and lodges near the north and south rims, they prepare for the day's activities. The morning sun climbs above distant mountains, revealing cliffs hanging over the Colorado River at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. The river took almost 6 million years to carve the canyon, creating a channel about 1 mile deep and more than 275 miles long. Wind and water wore down its steep sides, widening the chasm between the cliffs. A raven glides across the opening, making lazy circles over the river far below. The sun chases away shadows on the craggy rocks thousands of feet below the rims. Pack mules begin a 5-hour trip down to the deepest part of the canyon. They follow each other along a twisted 10-mile trail to the river bend. Clouds of dust follow them as voices from the top fade away. Canyon visitors along the trail peer with curiosity at the symbols of people and animals that were painted on a boulder by Havasupai Indians long ago. Havasupais still live in the canyon today, tending their flock and farms in the summertime, hunting small game and gathering nuts and berries in the winter months. As the sun moves higher in the sky, smaller side canyons with rocks layered like multicolored ribbons come into view. Bighorn sheep walk easily along the steep walls of the canyons, looking for food in hidden pockets of soil. Wildflowers stand around them in patches of purple and pink. The mules continue down the trail to the inner gorge. They carry the riders past layers of rock that display millions of years of the Earth's geological history. A canyon wren looks for bits of brush to line its nest, hidden in a rocky crevice just off the trails. It searches for twigs and grasses up and down the canyon walls, flying past fossils of fish teeth and seashells. The noonday sun glistens on a hidden creek near a granary built into the canyon wall by the Anasazi Indians almost 1,000 years ago. Squirrels chase through the now empty granary where crops and plants had been stored for food and trade. A lizard scurries off the trail. It climbs over fossils of prehistoric trilobites embedded in layers of shale millions of years ago when the land was covered by primeval sea. After the mules pass, the lizards creep out from its hiding place to soak up the warmth of the sun. The afternoon sun hangs low in the sky. A white-breasted nunthashe flies above beaver-tail cacti along the rocky banks of the Colorado River. Its song drifts over ancient pink, white, and gray rocks at the river's edge, the roots of the mountains that stood there almost 2 billion years ago. The water tumbles over cascading rapids, while trout search for quieter streams in which to spawn. A ring-tailed cat drinks from a slower side stream, watching for predators up and down the red rocks and along the river nearby. Laughter echoes from a bunkhouse as weary riders and hikers share stories of their descent into the canyon. The endless cycles of eroding rock and moving water carved the Grand Canyon millions of years ago. Blustering wind and pounding rain continue to widen it, grinding down rocks that used to be mountains and volcanoes. The rushing Colorado River deepens this natural wonder, dragging rocks and mud along its path through ancient plains and lava flows. The mules rest for the night in a corral near the river, awaiting tomorrow's 7-mile trip back up to the top. Weather and erosion make tiny changes every day in the rocky walls along the trail. Millions of years into the future, the same forces of nature will continue to reshape the Grand Canyon, digging even deeper into the history of our planet. For grammar this week, we have contractions and possessive pronouns. A contraction is a short way to write two words. An apostrophe takes the place of one or more letters. Let's take a look at the examples. Number 1, I don't know which backpack is yours. The contraction is don't, and the words that make up that contraction are do and not. Number 2, I'll go on a hike with Grace. I'll is a contraction for I and will. 3, the rapids won't be strong farther downstream. Won't is a contraction for will and not. 4, you shouldn't go out alone at night. Shouldn't is a contraction for should and not. 5, I'm going on a horseback ride. I'm is a contraction for I am. Possessive pronouns show ownership. Some possessive pronouns are similar to contractions. One way to tell them apart is to remember that contractions have apostrophes. Let's take a look at these examples. Number 1, your is a possessive pronoun, and your is a contraction. Remember, it has an apostrophe. Number 2, his is a possessive pronoun, and his with an apostrophe is a contraction. Number 3, there is a contraction, has an apostrophe, and there is a possessive pronoun. 4, its with the apostrophe is a contraction, and its is a possessive pronoun. Contractions and possessive pronouns. Some contractions are easily confused with other words, such as possessive pronouns. There is a contraction of they are. There means belonging to them. There means that place. Its is a contraction of it is. Its means belonging to. Whose is a contraction of who is. Whose means belonging to someone. Let's look and see how they use all these words that sound similar but are spelled differently and have different meanings, how they're used in a sentence. Number 1, they're riding mules into the canyon. So you notice that there has an apostrophe, so that's a contraction for they are. The second one says they will take their supplies with them. THEIR means belonging to them. And the tour leaves from over there. THERE means that place. Number 2, it's going to be a long ride. Again, this is a contraction because it has an apostrophe for the words it is. And the mule pulled at its reins, meaning the reins that belong to it. And 3, who's going with us? That's a contraction. It has an apostrophe, and it's for the words who is going with us. And then whose at the bottom is belonging to someone. Do you know whose hat that is? So you can see there's 3 different theirs, 2 its, and 2 whose, but they're spelled differently and they have different meanings. So make sure you use them correctly in your sentences. Number 4 through 6, you're going to fill in each blank with the word from the box. Whose guidebook is this? Again, that means who belonging to someone. Mine is over there. That means that place. And then it's IT apostrophe S. It is the one with the blue cover. Now let's work on grammar page 95. For numbers 1 through 10, it says to write the contraction for each word pair. Remember that each contraction is going to have an apostrophe. Number 1, she is, she's. 2, is not, isn't. 3, they have, they've. 4, does not, doesn't. 5, will not, won't. 6, should not, shouldn't. 7, you are, you're. And then go ahead and complete 8, 9, and 10 on your own. And for the bottom part, it says to label each underlined word as a contraction or a possessive pronoun. 11, we're tired from walking so far. Again, we see the apostrophe, so that's a contraction. 12, the door wouldn't close, contraction. 13, its hinge is broken. That's a possessive pronoun. 14, after lunch, they weren't tired anymore. That's a contraction. 15, the hikers put on their backpacks. That's a possessive pronoun. 16, it's a long way to the bottom of the canyon. That's a contraction. And then go ahead and complete 17 through 20 on your own. This is grammar page 96. For numbers 1 through 6, they want you to circle the word in parentheses that correctly completes the sentence. Number 1, it's time to stop for water. Again, that should be the first it's with the apostrophe. 2, their shoes are dry and dusty. So again, that belongs to them. That's possessive pronoun, so it's a second there. 3, I count 4 coyotes. We didn't discuss this one, but the 4 they used here should be like 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So F-O-U-R. 4, the pack mules know which trail to follow. It should be the one with the K-N-O-W. And then go ahead and complete 5 and 6. And then the bottom section says to rewrite each sentence and use the correct word from the box to complete it. Number 7, the sleeping bag is new. That's N-E-W, new. 8, I heard Dora yell with excitement. Heard. And H-E-A-R-D. So again, one way to remember is it has the word ear. You hear with your ear. So heard. H-E-A-R-D. And then number 9, we see a herd of buffalo. That's like a group of animals. H-E-R-D, herd. Okay, go ahead and complete 10, 11, and 12 on your own. Great job, boys and girls.